Hi, I'm Jeff Leedy, the window expert. Today I'm going to talk to you about Sierra Pacific windows and doors. Have you heard of them? If you haven't, you should start by watching a video. I'm going to put a little link up in the corner at the top and also down below where I talk a little bit more about the brand and how they came into existence. It's a great story and I think you're going to want to check that out. So today I'm in our beautiful showroom where we have over a dozen brands of windows and doors to choose from, high quality windows and doors. And specifically right now I want to focus just a big overview on the products that are available here in the Houston market, also in the DFW market where we have a location as well, to someone who's either building a new house. If you're looking for new construction, this is a really hot product for new construction. Or if you're remodeling your house and you're taking out your existing windows, you want to put in new windows, I think you're going to want to really pay attention to the products that they have. So there's so many products that I'm going to start with what's common across all of their products. So that way you can have a good idea of what is a common denominator and what's not. So as you probably are aware, the Sierra Pacific products, most of them, they also have some vinyl, but most of the products we're going to see today are going to have an aluminum exterior and they're going to have a wood interior. So look at that. Pine is standard, right? But then you can get white oak, walnut, vertical grain, Douglas fir, cherry, mahogany, alder, maple. I mean, you've got some really good wood choices. Speaking of good choices, I live in the Houston area, right? And we have a location here in Houston and one in DFW. And if you're looking to buy beautiful new windows for your home, come by and see me. But if you don't live in this area, I started a website where I have a list of several hundred dealers all over the country. High quality dealers like we are. You can check it out at thewindowexperts.com. Another thing that they also have that's common across their entire product line is they have over 50 standard colors, a total of about 70 colors overall. They have some premium colors. These metallic ones are really cool. And these colors can be made in any of the product line that they have. So as we see the product line today, know that even if you mix different product lines from within the Sierra Pacific family, because they have different groupings, different items out there, you can have consistent color all the way across the outside, which is really cool. That's one plus compared to a lot of brands like Anderson and Pella, Windsor. Some of those brands, they're going to have limited colors in some of their other options. And in this case, this company puts it all the way across all of their products with aluminum exterior. Now, worth noting that the vinyl product line only comes in a dozen colors. Now, those dozen colors, some of those are represented here. So if you pick a color that's already here on, say, your front door because it's made out of wood with aluminum exterior, but then you want to go with vinyl windows, maybe in the back of the house or the side of the house to save a little bit of money, you can actually get 12 of those colors are cross-referenced onto this chart. But even if that wasn't the case, they can make any of these colors for a upcharge where they make any of the other colors that they offer on their product line. Now, one more thing you should know about colors is if you didn't see a color out of those 70 that works for you, fret not. You can submit any color you want, and for around $1,500 to $2,000, you're going to get a custom color made for you for your products. Now, obviously, if you're buying one window, that's very expensive, but if you're buying a whole house full of windows and you need a custom color, you want lily pad pink or whatever, you can get that done. No problem at all. And that's on any of their products. So I think that's really cool. The other thing that you're going to find that's common across all of their products as well is going to be their what we call SDL, simulated divided light bars. You can see here how they have an exterior bar and then they have interior bars, right? So these are all wood on the inside. These are all going to be made out of aluminum on the outside. And you can see that they have different dimensions, they have different styles, and it's really cool. One of my favorites is this one right here called Putty. Ooh, that's a pretty one, and I'll show that to you here in just a second on this door. So think about that, right? Like they've designed this in such a way, genius, because most brands don't do this, where you can mix and match your products all the way around your house and still have a really nice, beautiful, consistent look. So let's dive into this first product you see right here. This is a radius-topped arch door. One of the first things you will notice is that it's more than 6 feet. Okay, a lot of people limit themselves to 6 feet. They could go wider than this. I just happen to have a 7-foot opening right here. This is a 7-foot wide door by 8 feet tall. And this is a French door, French style door. You can see how this opens to the inside. And what I love about this door, in addition to its beauty and to its craftsmanship, is I love this multi-point hardware. If you notice, instead of having, maybe your door now has those things that you slide up and down here that are impossible to get open, not this one. Look, It's got a pin at the bottom, right? And then a pin over at the top as well. And as you can see, when I close this, I want to engage those pins. Oh, by the way, oh my gosh, I wish you could feel that. I can feel that weather stripping working. Oh, it's beautiful. I raise that, and now I locked at the top and I locked at the bottom. And here's another thing that's pretty about this, is once you fill in these little putty holes, right, these little screw holes with putty, and then you sand it and paint it, you don't see that mechanism. A lot of brands that are not quite this nice, you'll actually see all of that hardware mechanism showing up here. So if you're looking for something that's really historically accurate, like you live in an older house and you want this to look like an old wood door, this can look like an old wood door. Now when I close this door, I can do the same thing here. I close it, I raise this handle, it engages those pins at the top and the bottom, and now I feel so much more secure than if all I had was a deadbolt, right? So think about this, you've got a locking point at the top, a locking point at the bottom, and you got a locking point here in the middle. That makes me feel more comfortable, makes me feel more confident. Now that brings me to another thought, something we should be talking about too, is if you say, well, Jeff, I live on the coast. I need a impact rated or I need a hurricane rated product, right? All of their product line can be impact rated, and so you can find impact rated products from them regardless of which product you pick. They are going to have an option, and what it is, they call it a feel safe option. This particular door is so well built, this actually qualifies to be in an impact rated zone for hurricanes. All they have to do is swap out the glass with the hurricane rated feel safe glass, and boom, you've got that. Now some companies don't do that. They have products that are only designed for the coast, and they're hideous. Don't tell anyone I said that. I don't want to get sued. But they don't look beautiful like this. They have to have like more reinforcement. They have thicker walls on them. The way they get away with it, the reason they can do it, come around this side, maybe it'd be easier for you to see it over there, is because of how thick their door is. Look, this is a 2¼ inch deep door. This is thicker, it's heavier. It's got that, all of what we call design pressure ratings, DP ratings, that are ready and designed to perform in that environment. Oh, look at the beautiful grid on here. Remember I told you putty grid was my favorite? This is that putty grid. And you can see on the inside, I've got the interior design with that little ridge in it, okay? See that little kind of groove? It gives it a little more character, if that's what you like. But go to the outside and look at how the outside of this looks a little more contemporary. See that? That's that true putty grid. Oh, I just love how that looks. I even love running my fingers down it. Now here's what's cool too. A lot of companies don't do this. Look how that dovetails. Get a good close-up of that right there. Look how that dovetails into this putty grid as well. A lot of companies just have a flat stop here and it comes up to like a hard stop, right? Like a 90. And here they go ahead and dovetail that so you really get that nice putty look down the side here as well, not just on the grid itself. Not everyone does that. Of course, we're talking about a really ultra premium product. You're gonna spend more money on this, by the way. I'm just telling you that up front. This is not a cheap product. It's very well built, and they've really gone to the trouble to give you more dimension, better quality. And here's another thing I love about this door. Look at this. It has an actual raised panel. See how that is a raised panel? It's not just a flat box. A lot of brands don't have a raised panel, and it's just a flat panel. It lacks that dimension. It lacks that character. It lacks that depth. And not with this Sierra Pacific. No, sir, no, ma'am. You are going to build the most beautiful house on the block. You're going to have the most beautiful, gorgeous home in your neighborhood, and you're going to have a really high quality, durable product. I mean, great weather stripping, great locking mechanisms, keeps the hot out and the cold in, and keeps the hot in and the cold out, depends on where you live. And you can only do that with this high quality product like this from Sierra Pacific. Now let's move on to their window. Now this window is really pretty cool. First of all, I think it's a gorgeous color. This is one of their colors. This is a dark blue color. And this is a product that's designed to be historically accurate. So let's say you live in a neighborhood where you have, maybe a house that's a registered historic place, and you can't just go swap out the windows and put in whatever you want. You have to get approval, right, to have a window that's going to be historically accurate. This is what this is used for. Now, that's not the only application, but what I'm implying here is that this actually it looks like a window from the 1800s, if you will, and you're not going to get that out of a lot of brands. The way the bevels are shaped here, the way the grid is designed on the exterior, the way it has an 8-degree sloped sill instead of a weep hole system, all of that contributes to that look. It also has this accessory groove. If you notice all the way around the perimeter here, we have this little groove, and they make all these different attachments that come in the same color as your window that they actually snap into this, all these accessories that snap into it so that it can be trimmed out to actually look like the look you're wanting to get. So imagine if you bought a beautiful durable window like this with a powder coated exterior, which by the way, all these products are 2605 AMA powder coated finishes. Google that, you're gonna wanna know. When you get the color attachments that go with it, they're gonna match that. And imagine doing this and then putting wood back around this, like having a wood trim that's gonna rot in a few years. You don't want that. So they've thought of everything. You can get the entire complete package. Now come around this side. Take a look at the interior of this window. Now this is really, really pretty. I just like how this looks. Look at that nice, clean look. One of the things I wish you could feel, I wish the camera had a feeler on the end of my fingers here, but when I slide my finger across this right here, I can't even tell that there's a union there. That's how great the tolerances are on this. I slide my finger across there and I don't feel a ridge or a bump. These things were really well built. Now, I think I did a mistake here. I ordered the white spoon locks. These are called spoon locks. I should have gotten a different color. Trust me, I'm gonna order these today. I'm gonna swap it. I don't think the white looks good in here. It looks hideous in my opinion. So I don't know why I got that. But the spoon lock opens like this, right? And then you open that one, and I wish you could feel it because it feels so nice. Then I raise this window, and it's effortless. I mean, it's just, I can feel the weather stripping, but it's almost effortless. It feels so nice. And here's what's really cool. This has an integrated tilt function. So this window actually tilts, but instead of seeing the ugly tilt mechanisms like you would see on the Windsor, for example, Windsor has some sliders up here that tilt in. This actually has it integrated. So when I turn that spoon a little further, it actually disengages those little pins right there. Maybe you can see that pin. It's right here. See that? That little pin? So I push that in, that disengages it, so now I can go ahead and tilt in my window. Oh my gosh, that is just so nice, and it feels so good. And I've got an interlocking rail here with a top and a bottom interlock. I can feel the weather stripping in here. It's really, really good. And this, my friends, is their premium flagship wood window. Wood on the interior, heavy duty, really thick gauge. You can even see the thickness of the gauge right here. Thick gauge aluminum on the exterior, and over 70 colors to pick from, and it's gorgeous. Now walk around this way. Before we get out of this zone, this area, I want you to look behind you, and I want you to see that they do have some different hardware options for these front doors. You notice I have this contemporary style one here on my door, and then we got this style, and we got this. It's a little more traditional. You can see some of the different hinge options that are available, and then of course the finishes that are available. Now, just so you know, you can take these off, right? And you can replace them with some third-party hardware. For example, Rocky Mountain, M-Tech, and a few others make what they call a multi-point face kit. So you can take the face off of these and put on your own. There are literally hundreds of options out there. So don't get hung up on, I don't like how that looks. Don't worry about it. You can get what you want for your home. It's gonna cost you some money, but you can do that. So come around this way. And next up, I want to show you this Sierra Pacific casement. Now this is from what they call their Aspen series. Now what I did on this product is I wanted to show you their best casement. They make 3 different ones. They also make one that's called a standard casement. They also make one that's called the urban casement. Now the urban casement's pretty cool too. I like it. It's very contemporary, and it's going to be much narrower here. So you're going to get more glass space, right? It's much narrower. But the limitation on it is size. They can't go as big as they can on some of these on that narrower profile. Now it's beautiful and it's really cool, and if you don't need a big size, that's probably the one I would go with. But this is showcasing how big they can go. Now obviously I needed this size for my showroom, but imagine getting this 34 inches wide by as much as 8, 9, 10 feet tall. I can't remember. I'm going to put it right here on the screen. But they can make big casements. Why? Because the design pressure rating on this is as high as DP70, design pressure 70. That's like hurricane rated design pressures. Really cool. Now how do they do that? Well, they do it because they have a thicker sash on this. But this is what's really cool about this lock. Instead of having a lock mechanism over here like you normally see on a casement window, they actually have the lock handle built into the bottom here. Check this out. I'm going to flip that over. That's integrated into this, and then I can use my crank to open this window. And by the way, that is effortless. It is just beautiful how it operates. So take a look at this. See, this is nice and thick. This is heavy duty, heavier than what you get on most casements. And if you notice here, here's the locks where it engages, right? These are little hooks that engage with these receivers on the end here. And that mechanism travels across here on a really cool little belt. I'm gonna get down on the ground to show you. You ready? See those move? Yeah, yeah. Those are moving, and that's because this mechanism here is actually like a flat stainless steel belt that does this and makes that curve right there. You can see the little corner. It's got a little track. That little track makes it curve up, so it's sliding those up and down. Unique to the market. I don't think anybody else in the market is doing something like this, and I think it's really cool. And you know, the benefit to that is if you want to have a really clean look on the inside and just a little handle at the bottom, that's the only way you're going to achieve it with a casement, unless you get something like this where you don't have to deal with that. Another cool feature about this window, I'll close that now, is that it has the flex screen option. Flex screen is pretty cool. You've probably seen these on Shark Tank, right? The screen comes out like that. And I like it because it's easier to put in, easier to take out, and it's very, very narrow, so it doesn't tie up a lot of my viewing space on this window when the screen's in. Of course, I like leaving the screens out, right? In Houston, we don't really open our windows that much. Now, over here behind you, we're going to talk about this in just a second, but let's switch right now over to the sliding door. Now, this is a sliding door. The first one you saw was a hinge door. This is a sliding door. This sliding door can be made up to 23 feet wide by 8 feet tall and still qualify for the hurricane wind zones. That's really pretty amazing. So I'm going to open it for you and just show you a couple of things that I like about it. Number one is ease of operation. Oh, it's like a dream. I mean, I think an 80-year-old or an 8-year-old can open this thing all day long and not have any issues. Check out this multi-point lock. I'm going to push the button and I'm going to lock. See how that comes up and hooks? So you remember the old days, people were like, oh, don't ever buy a sliding door. All they got to do is come and pry it up and it can pop it off the track and throw it away and step into your house. Not going to happen here. We have a multi-point lock on here. So you see those two hooks, they come down like this, right? And they engage like that, engage into that. This will come with 3-inch screws that go back into your studs inside the wall, right? Give it really good, strong reinforcement. You got a nice big metal plate here where this is reinforced, so it goes all the way up inside of here. And then lastly is when this closes, right here, I can feel it right here. There's a little engage right here, like a thing that hooks like this onto that side, and it goes into there. And so now I've got reinforcement in the center, and I've got a good locking mechanism on this end, and that is really nice and cool. Now, one caution for you, okay, because this is a real narrow profile. We wanted a lot of glass. You got to be careful with your fingers here, okay? That could hurt you. Same thing on the outside. It's not a flaw in the design. It's intentional to give you a whole lot more glass. But of course, the negative to that, or the caution for that, is be careful where you place your fingers, okay? When you close that door. So I like doing it like this, and then I can lock that door. Keep that in mind. Over here are the hardware options. So you can see that if you wanted a little more traditional look, you've got these two to choose from, the one I have on there, and then of course this traditional one. Now, if you did get that traditional one, you don't have to worry about smashing your fingers, right? Because it actually comes into this area where your hand is over here instead of up against the edge, as you can imagine right there. But of course, then again, like I said, right, you've got all the colors that are available in all the product lines are available on this. All the wood options are also available on this. Now we're going to go to a totally different product. I'm glad you're still here. This is a long video, but this is important because if you don't get your windows right, you can end up with a lot of problems. So this is a product that's called the H3. H3, the reason it stands for 3 is because it has 3 components to the product itself. The outside component is aluminum. The inside component is wood, just like all the other ones we saw. But between the wood and between the aluminum, it's kind of hard to see in here, but that's vinyl. That's vinyl. So you have a vinyl frame with a wood interior, a real wood interior, not a wood veneer, and then a real aluminum exterior. And this is called the H3, 3 components, 1, 2, 3. Now you say, Jeff, what's the benefit in that? Well, one of the benefits is cost, right? The aluminum in this is not quite as thick, it's not as heavily extruded as on the other products. The wood on this, even though they have all the available species, it's not all wood. So in the middle, you end up with vinyl. There's nothing wrong with vinyl, especially in a case like this. It's not exposed to the weather whatsoever. It's going to be behind the wall. You'll never see it. and it'll never be exposed to the sun. And I actually like it because I think about how many windows I see where maybe the house had a leak and water was running down the wall and it sat on the top of a real wood window and started to rot out the wood. In this case, it would be, you don't want a leak at all, but in this case, at least it'd be sitting on the vinyl instead of wood. So you have less chance of having something bad happen behind your wall. Certainly, you're not going to have mold and mildew and stuff growing because it's not an organic product like wood would be. So that's how they can save you a little bit of money. And sometimes what we do is we take maybe this door, right? Because they don't make an H3 door. Maybe we have this door in the front of the house and we still want all those beautiful grids like I showed you. Look at that beautiful grid. All the grids I showed you on this door that's expensive can go on this more affordable product as well. So I can get the grids I want. I can get all the wood interior options I want. I can get all of the colors available to me, and I can do it at a reduced price. Isn't that cool? So that's what's good about this, is you can actually mix and match your products to try to get to where you want to be on the budget. Now on the interior of this, it looks a little different than that really traditional one. Now you've noticed I got a nice little flats here, but I've got that little putty. See how the putty follows the grid? That's nice. Instead of having a flat surface with the grid dying into it, they've actually got the putty bevel going as well, all the way around the side, which makes it really kind of cool. The thing that you don't get is the concealed locking mechanism. Look, I got those little tabs here. Some people say, well, those are ugly. Well, okay, they're ugly, whatever you say. But it's better than what you see on a lot of windows, especially in this price point. So operates nice and easily. Oh my God, like a dream. And then I can tilt this in, right? And I can tilt that in so I can swap out the window if I need to, swap out the glass, or if I wanted to clean, etc. And you can see here, this is aluminum on the outside, wood on the inside. Only that frame material that's between the two is made out of vinyl, and it's kind of easier to see it right here. That's the vinyl. That's what I'm tapping on, is the vinyl, okay? So that's right behind there. Actually, this is the aluminum cover, but it's right behind there is where the vinyl is. Interlocking meaning rail, see that rail right there? That's got a little groove in it. Then I've got the other half of it up here on the top so that this can interlock with that. Gives me better wind performance, better design pressure ratings, and also this can be used in the windstorm as well. So that's really cool that you've got that option. In my particular sample here in the showroom, I'm trying to remember if I did, yeah, I did a double hung, okay? And that can tilt in as well. And you can see how that engages up there so you can get that grid secure lock that you want. Lock that down. And again, comes in all the same colors as you can get on the other one. Pretty cool. All right, this is the next to last product I'm going to show you. This is the H3 casement. I just wanted to have it here so you can see if you did want to go with the double hung, or you did want to go with a casement, or you want to mix the two. You can get operable casements and you can get fixed casements. So if you got a casement, let's say in the bedroom you have 3 casement windows across the back, one of them opens and the other 2 you don't want to open, right? Because you need one to open for egress. You can have all 3 windows look alike. From the outside, they look identical. The only difference is that the one that operates will have the hardware integrated into it. It does not have a concealed hardware down here like the other one did. Instead, you have to lift this little lever. And then, of course, this is not as robust as the other one was, so we can't make nearly as big of a size. So everything's got a trade-off, right? Double-edged sword. There's going to be a few things that you cannot do in this product that you can do in the other products, but it is going to be more cost-effective, and it's going to be made out of the same colors and the same wood. I really like that. Okay, I'm going to get this handle fixed before our next customer comes in, so nobody laughs at my showroom, because it's a beautiful showroom. Okay, come this way. We're almost done. I haven't hung it up yet because I just got it in, but I wanted to show you. What do you think that window's made out of? Huh? You saw all the other real nice, expensive products that they make. What do you think this one's made out of? This one's made out of vinyl. Look how good that looks alongside all the other products. I mean, it's got the really nice dimensional grids on it. It's got a beautiful bevel to the edges on it. It's really nice window, and it comes in all these different colors, and yet it's vinyl. So this is going to save you quite a bit of money. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll mix the vinyl window with some of the wood windows, right? Maybe this goes upstairs, maybe the wood goes in the common areas of the house, but this is a way to get what you need. This is a way to get what you have to have at a more affordable price point. Is it as nice? No. Hey, by the way, it is the same glass, right? So you're getting the same insulating benefits. You're getting the same high quality glass that's going to be in all the other products that they make. And that's the Sierra Pacific product. Now, if you're looking for a great window company in Houston or